Hello lovely people and welcome back to my channel. So I asked a lot of you on Instagram whether you would be interested in seeing a lip swatch video of my H&M cream lipstick collection, and a lot of you actually said yes. So here we are doing a lip swatch video of all of my H&M cream lipsticks. Just to start you off, I wanted to give you a couple of details on these lipsticks. Like I said, they are by H&M. H&M has like a beauty line, so they make pretty much all the kinds of different makeup products that you would imagine. I don't really have very many of their other types of makeup products. I only have a blush and a couple of those lipsticks, but I've never really tried like an extensive range of their products because I feel like that's going to be a problem for a lot of you. The H&M makeup is not available in all H&M stores. It is only available in select stores, so you cannot really go and swatch in every H&M store. If you live in a really big city and you have a big H&M, maybe you do have the makeup line of H&M in store and you can swatch it and you can try it and you can pick on the spot, but I don't. So for me, everything I need to choose is online, and especially with like base products and powders and stuff like that, I'm already covered by a bunch of other brands, so I'm not even interested in trying them. But I've heard so much about especially the blushes and the lipsticks from H&M, and I do have one of their blushes. I can show you. They actually come in really beautiful packaging. I'm going to come back to that in a bit with the lipsticks, but I do really like the packaging of their makeup. So this is the blush that I have from them. It is in the shade Rosy Brown, and it's actually quite descriptive of what the color is. It is a beautiful rosy brown, sort of like a... It's a matte, but it has a little bit of a sheen to it, so it's a really gorgeous color. Beautiful lips, beautiful lipsticks, beautiful blush. I definitely recommend trying the H&M blushes if you haven't. But now let's go back to the lipsticks. So the lipsticks come in this packaging, and this is the packaging for the cream lipsticks. The matte lipsticks I think have a black cap to them, and the reason I only have the cream lipsticks is because I personally am a huge lover of cream lipsticks, and the H&M ones happen to be my favorite cream lipsticks ever. So these guys retail for 10 euros, and I've never actually bought them full price. I've always waited for discounts or I've used discount codes, so most of the time I have bought them about the 7-8 euro mark. So they are not dirt cheap drugstore, but they're also not very expensive, so they're somewhat on the more like mid-range of drugstore prices, and I do think that based on the quality that you get, this is quite a justified price. So a few words about these lipsticks in terms of their formula. These are some of the creamiest cream lipsticks you're ever going to come across. They are really comfortable, they glide on beautifully on the lips, they give you like that glossy sort of shiny finish, and if you're someone like me who wants a little bit of plumping to your lips because you don't have very full lips, this is definitely the kind of formula that is going to give you that plump, that extra, you know, liveliness to your lips. I really love the formula of these lipsticks. They do have a bit of a scent to them, be warned. They are lightly vanilla scented. I personally don't mind because I like things that are scented vanilla, and I don't find the scent to be very overwhelming, but keep that in mind because it is a factor for a lot of people. There are really very few disadvantages that I can point out to these lipsticks, other than because of their very creamy formula, they're not going to be the most long-lasting lipsticks that you're ever going to try, and two, they are going to bleed a little bit along your lip lines. And this brings me to the color selection that I own. So I don't really own any of their brighter like reds or pinks or any of those really statement colors because they are definitely going to bleed along my lip lines. But I do actually have a solution for that a little bit, because also the more nudish brown colors that I have do tend to bleed a little bit over the course of the day. So in order to prevent that, I always use my MAC Prep and Prime Lip Primer. You don't have to use the MAC one, probably there are other formulas that are going to work, but this one works really well for me, and because I always use a lip primer, for me adding this to my routine when I use these lipsticks is not an extra step that I don't have time for, because this is just a general step in my makeup routine. I always use the lip primer because it always extends the longevity of my lipsticks. So that being said, if you have problems with bleeding, I definitely think something like this will solve this problem if you're afraid that these lipsticks are going to bleed along your lip lines. Oh yeah, something I would consider a little bit difficult with these lipsticks is there aren't that many swatches of these lipsticks online, and if you're like me and you don't have an H&M makeup in your town, you are going to have to go with whatever is available online, so it's really difficult to choose colors, especially within like the more nude family, because you know, nude lipsticks tend to look so much alike, and depending on the person that swatches them, they can look different. So I found it very difficult to choose colors from this line because of the sparsity of swatches available online. But with that being said, they are a gorgeous formula and I really don't regret picking up any of them. Before we start with the lip swatch extravaganza, just so you know, I have lined my lips to help guide the lipstick application process because I don't have very well defined lips. I've used this shade from Catrice, which is called Take You to the Chocolate Shop. Cool name actually. The first color I want to show you is the one that I would consider my least favorite one from my whole H&M cream lipstick collection, just because of the undertones of this lipstick. So the color that I'm talking about is this one. It is called Soigne, or I'm not really sure how it's pronounced. I'm definitely going to have the names of all of these on the screen for you, but this is the shade of this lipstick. As you can see, Soigne definitely pulls a little bit cool, a little bit taupey, and at the same time it has these like almost yellow undertones to it. I know it sounds very oxymoronic to say taupe and yellow in the same sentence and claim that this is a cool toned lipstick, but I do feel like there's like a little bit of yellowness, a little bit of like sallowness to this color, which is why it really only ever works with the right eye look, and I don't wear it very often because most of the time whenever I put it on I feel like it makes me look a bit sickly. So to be honest with you, if I could think of someone who would really enjoy this lipstick, I would probably declutter it because I don't find it necessarily very flattering on me. But if you enjoy these kind of, you know, grungier, more unique, you know, adventurous colors, you might actually really enjoy this lipstick. The next one is definitely one of my favorites. This is the color Chocolat Chaude. Chocolat Chaude is a gorgeous, warm chocolate brown shade and it looks super beautiful on the lips. I love this lipstick. There is something about a good chocolate brown that brings me right back into the 90s, and because I'm a 90s child, I actually really enjoy that feeling. This is definitely a bold statement, deeper sort of brown, so it's not going to be for everyone, but I really love this lipstick, you guys, and I actually think it looks really beautiful with this eye look. The next color must be one of my favorite H&M lipsticks, and actually one of my favorite lipsticks in my whole lipstick collection, and that is the color Redwood. Redwood has this gorgeous like brick red, brownish orange undertones to it, and I absolutely love this lipstick. There you have a swatch for Redwood. It is definitely a lot more pinky red compared to a lot of my other H&M lipsticks, which tend to be quite brown leaning. This is such a stunning, flattering color. I can't even imagine anyone on whom this lipstick wouldn't look beautiful, and I recommend it to everyone who has never tried the H&M lipsticks to definitely pick up the shade Redwood because I just think it's so gorgeous. The next color I want to swatch for you is the shade Brunette Ambition. Brunette Ambition is another one of those lipsticks that I consider to be quite a universally flattering shade. This is a more like pinky based brown. So it is still in the brown color family, but it has much more like pink undertones compared to, you know, Chocolat Chaude for instance. And it is a bit deeper than a nude. Brunette Ambition has a little bit of those like neutral tones to it, and it's the kind of lipstick that I reach for when I don't really know what to put on my lips and when I have something like really bold going on my eyes, but at the same time it works really well with a neutral look as well. So I would consider this color to be quite a universally flattering color for like a bunch of different looks, but it has a little bit of depth to it, so it's not like a straight up nude. I'm definitely starting to look like a hot mess. Okay, let's move on to the next color. This is one that's fairly new to my collection. This is the shade Charmed Life. It's definitely one of those more brown-leaning nudes, but it is much less deep compared to Chocolat Chaude. So it has like those neutral browny tones to it. Charmed Life definitely reminds me a lot of Brunette Ambition, but Brunette Ambition leans a lot more pinky red, whereas Charmed Life definitely leans a bit more brown neutral. And I also think it's one of those colors that would pretty much go with everything, but it is a little bit deeper than a classic nude. Then we have the color Wellies and Tweed. Wellies and Tweed is definitely a straight up peachy nude. I really love this lipstick. So there you have Wellies and Tweed. Wellies and Tweed is definitely the most like nude color in my H&M cream lipstick collection because it is the lightest one of them all, but I still do feel like it has enough depth to it so that it doesn't look like concealer lips. So if you're someone who really doesn't enjoy the concealer lips, I think something like Wellies and Tweed would be really beautiful because of those slight peachy browny undertones. It has a little bit of like more neutralness to it and less nudeness, and it looks very flattering. Again, a color that looks really beautiful with like a bunch of different eye looks. Just two more colors left, you guys. Well, you don't really care, but my lips are really starting to suffer. So this is the shade Heyday, and Heyday is... this color is beautiful, but it is just slightly deeper than the shade Charmed Life, so I didn't really need to have both. But like I said, when you choose online, it's sometimes very hard to tell how exactly the color is going to look like live. Just for giggles, let's watch Charmed Life next to Heyday, just so you can see the difference. Okay, so there is a little bit of a difference. I actually think now Charmed Life is a little bit deeper than Heyday. And the last one is definitely one of my favorites and definitely one of the most unique colors that I have in my whole lipstick collection, and that is the shade Cinnamon Toast. Cinnamon Toast is straight up the color of cinnamon. It is gorgeous. It has those beautiful, warm, reddish brown tones to it. I just love this lipstick so much. I don't really know what there is to say about Cinnamon Toast other than it is an absolutely gorgeous color. It is so unique, it is so stunning, it looks beautiful, and it just, I think it would flatter a lot of people because it has those beautiful, universally warm, flattering tones to it. I don't know, I just really love this lipstick and I would definitely highly recommend it. So if I had to pick my favorite of all the 8, so if you were to ask me, Mariam, pick half of these as your top favorites to recommend to us, I would definitely recommend Cinnamon Toast, so the color that I'm wearing on my lips right now, because I feel like it is very unique. I definitely haven't come across this type of color in very many other lipstick collections. I would definitely highly recommend this shade Redwood, so the brick red, peachy brown sort of nude. I know I'm using a lot of adjectives to describe this and it's very hard to understand, but I really think Redwood is also another one of those very beautiful, universally flattering, but at the same time quite unique shades. I would also definitely recommend to you Wellies and Tweed. Yeah, Wellies and Tweed, the peachy nude, because I feel like in the category of like more nude, like really light nude lips, this is a very good one because it's definitely not going to give you that disgusting white trim. It's going to wear really beautifully. It's going to add just a little bit of warm, just a little bit of brown, just a hint of pink to your lips, and it's going to look great with pretty much everything. And the last one that I would recommend to you, just because it's so different from the others but it's still quite universally flattering and would go with a bunch of different eye looks, is the shade Brunette Ambition, because yeah, I don't know, I think it's such a beautiful color. This is definitely not a very unique color. You can definitely find this in a lot of other lipstick lines, but I do think that if I were to recommend my 4 favorites, the 4 colors that would be the most universally appealing to all of you, I would definitely recommend these 4. So you guys, let's quickly swatch the lipsticks just on my hand as a reference. So we are going to start in the same order that I also swatched them on my lips. Here you have Soigne. Next up we have Chocolat Chaude. And we also have Nicola, by the way, so if you can hear strange sounds, that's because he's around. Then we have Redwood. Okay. There, you can have this. Next up we have Brunette Ambition. Then Charmed Life. The next one is Wellies Tweed. Yes, thank you very much. You're giving me my brush back. Please don't eat it. Then we have Heyday. And last but not least, we have Cinnamon Toast. And there you have all the colors next to each other, you guys. And with that, I think we can conclude this lip swatch video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know which color was your favorite. Do you own any of these colors and which ones would you recommend to me? As usual, if you would like to see more of my content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!